Hey, folks. Kevin will be on in just a moment. Welcome aboard. Hey, Ruby Red, how you doing? Juanita H, how's everything going? Happy Friday. Psych. We're almost there. Almost there, folks. Hopefully you had a good day. Hope you had a good day. Ready for a great show. Got Kevin Brown on his way in. And very excited about things. Very excited. Just sit tight. Working through. Trying to get the lighting together. He'll be here in a moment. Everybody sit tight. Everybody sit tight. It's good to have you aboard. Keep this open here. Hope you had a good day, everybody. We have time for some short dialogue in between. This is actually my, I don't even want to count the episodes. I want to start putting dates on these things. We'll get there, folks. We're slowly getting there, slowly but surely. T-Mac, how you doing? Jennifer Green, hey, Miss Photogenic. Boy. So I hope everybody had a good Thursday, a good day, and a good work week thus far. We're excited about the weekend. Hopefully the weather's changing in your neck of the woods. Things are kind of looking up here, South Florida. Only the other thing involved is the numbers are looking up well as well. The kids being here in South Beach is actually causing some chaos, and local law enforcement down in Miami actually put a curfew back on, and after that, pretty much the spring break is over. So they kind of did it to themselves. They sabotaged their own good time. But if you ask me, a good time could have happened just at home and calling it a day just for 1 year. You figure the youth, they should really look at it as we got time. Maybe we'll get them next year. But not this batch of kids. They came down and went crazy. Yep. So we are just hanging tight. Everybody, thank you for your patience. Let me check and see if we can get a quick ETA. What say you, Diamond Whitley? Everything is good. Everything is good on this end. Ready for Friday, ready for the weekend, folks. Yeah. Trying to do a little getaway with the wife this weekend. We'll see how things pan out. Everybody's got to be on their best behavior, and we can make it happen, including Boogie. If you're just coming on for the first time, Boogie's our dog. And I guess who doesn't have issues during this pandemic, but we all have some issues we need to work through. We all need a break, so I think this weekend will be a great weekend for us to stretch out and get out of Dodge. Yeah. Nita, do you have a follow-up number, just so I can push a quick call out? Hang on 1 second, folks. Miss Kim, I'm doing well, thanks. Yeah, we're just holding tight, everybody. It's It's a show. It's a early on show. Something different. We're trying to make a pivot here in the channel, and I think. Okay, my wife's on the phone with him now. I think he's trying to navigate through.
Okay, ready?
Let me try to increase. In the meantime, at least I could toil around and figure out little simple stuff. You know, like making the font a little bit bigger to accommodate my eyesight. My wife left her glasses close by. Hang on, these might come in handy. Hang on 1 second, I got an idea. Only if I need them. Only if I need them, folks.
Found it? Yeah, kind of make it out. Okay.
All right. Cowabunga. We in the building. All right. Your friendly neighborhood Clark Kent. Better not do that too often. I got to either commit or not. I can see that. Woo. Wasn't ready for that one. All right. So Super Cats, here we go. My wife is navigating him through. He's coming through the broadcast, folks. Thanks for your patience. Now, this fella, again, he's actually been on 30 Rock. He played .com. That's the role he played on 30 Rock. He's going to tell you a host of other things that he did on NBC 30 Rock. He's a comedian. Not yet. Tell him, make sure he puts his name. So it's
Type your name in.
We got a good lineup for you, though, folks. We're just scratching the surface on this here thing. Thanks for riding with us. There he is. Oh, no. Hey, buddy. Hey, Boogie, man. I'm working. I'm working, man. Dog come around. Here we go, everybody. Without further ado, I have Kevin.com Brown coming on, ladies and gentlemen. Kevin.com Brown. He's coming in. Kevin, how you doing? Can you hear me? You have your mic all mic'd up? Did you do a mic check coming in?
Tommy!
I can't hear you. Nope. Oh man. All right, okay. Let's see. You can hear me.
I just jumped in, didn't do anything.
Give me 1 second. I can try one thing on my end.
2, 1, 2. Can you hear me? You can't hear me. 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. 1, 2.
Right,
testing 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
Good time now, boy.
1, 2.
Hey, Kevin has arrived. Hey, Kev.
1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
Dang, this isn't working.
1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
I just knew this would work.
It's working on my end. 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing 1, 2. 1, 2. Testing 1, 2.
Gotcha.
1, 2.
You're
Testing
in.
1, 2. Got me?
Yep.
You got me?
All
now?
right.
You got me
Okay,
now,
well,
Tommy?
Gotcha, man. You're in, Kevin.
Okay.
Great to see you,
How are
man.
you?
Wow.
Good to see you too, bro.
Wow, Kevin.com Brown. I was up all night looking at your clips, man.
Okay.
Yeah, you're a funny guy. Where you from, Kevin?
I'm from the Bronx, New York.
Oh man. Hey, we got your cousin, man, but we've got a dog named Boogie. Boogie from the Bronx. And
Boogie down, okay.
Yeah, Boogie down, man. Wow.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's great to have you aboard, man. StreamYard is a fantastic platform. I was always just doing the antiquated, just going through YouTube. I just hopped
Yeah.
on this whole vibe like in October, and truly
Okay.
my reason for coming on board with this stuff and getting with the program with social media was I was hit with COVID, and when it got a hold of me, it wrestled me straight to the mat, and I didn't know how I was going to end up afterwards. And I'm 53, man. I was trying to get my sea legs back underneath me, and I said, well, this is enough reason for me to, go ahead and at least shout out and let people know what I'm going through. And then naturally, with my sister being Wendy, I said, you know what, Tommy, Wendy's brother has it, because I figured nobody would really give it. Rather, so see, what happened? Who that? Where? So so that whole thing started up, man. But
Right.
how are you making out through this pandemic yourself, man?
Let me tell you, you are very lucky, man. You have a much better ending to your story than a lot of people, man. So I tell you, I caught COVID also, and I caught it last year, March, right around this time.
Mm-hmm.
And when I came through on the other side, I thought I wanted to do a podcast also. So I had bought a new Mac computer. And I was looking into all the podcast technology, but I was sick for a long time. Like I was sick. I must have been sick for about 60 days. Like sick with the symptoms, right?
Yeah.
The chills, the wheezing, the fatigue. About 2 months. Then 30 extra days after that, I was like, I felt my internal organs were damaged, right? I felt like I had injuries inside my body, but I couldn't prove it to anybody because you couldn't see it. All I could do was feel it. Like I would move and I would feel my lungs scrape.
Yep.
And my body. Let me tell you, man, I had 7 days where I froze night and day. I had 7 days where I sweat night and day. I had about 21 days where I was so weak. If I was hungry and I had to go to the bathroom, I could only pick one trip at a time. Like I couldn't get out of bed and go to the bathroom and then go to the kitchen and get some food. I was that weak. Yeah. So I would have to make a choice. Let me go use the bathroom, come back to bed, take a nap, and then wake up. And then when I wake up again, then I go to the kitchen and get some food. Like it destroyed me. Like when I finished, when I got through it on the other side, I felt absolutely broken. Like I felt like I was a mere shell of my former self. Nothing that was important. Nothing that was important in 2019 was still important.
Yes. It'll definitely strip you of your armor, man. And then you have to think of then you're watching the news. So it's not like you could say, woe is me, and lick your wounds and think that everybody's going to be ultra compassionate because everybody's fighting for their lives and going through the same thing. And then you're in New York. So you had those it was more or less catacombs, built out of trailers, and wow. I was watching the news. I was watching the news. I was watching people die. I'm getting calls from my friends and hearing about family members dying, and that took an emotional toll on my spirit. Like when we were younger, I grew up in the martial arts in the streets of New York. So I thought I was a superhero. I thought I was invincible. But man, let me tell you, there was a moment. I took 2 COVID tests last year. I took one on April 1st and I tested positive. I took one on April 19th and I tested positive again, right? Now, the day I tested positive on April 1st, I had just come from one of those drive-through testing places where they stick the Q-tip all the way up in your brain, and then they hold it there, and twist it around, and they dig in. When I got home, something told me to sit on the steps. I was fatigued. Like all I had enough energy to do was to drive to get tested and then come back home. So I wasn't moving fast. I wasn't exerting myself. I was just dragging along. Something told me to have a seat on the step before I go upstairs. So I sat down on my step, the first step, right? Sitting there by myself. 10 seconds later,
I'm gagging for my next breath. Like I'm pulling on my collar like a kid on Easter Sunday trying to take his tie off. I'm not wearing a tie, I'm wearing a t-shirt, but I'm violently trying to get some air. I couldn't breathe. So I'm like, and I literally thought I was going to die that moment, right?
Yeah.
I saw the Grim Reaper. I saw the Chariot. I saw God. I saw everybody, and they were there coming to get me. Like I knew they was coming for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had that conversation with God. You ever have that conversation with God?
Yes.
Like it's not Sunday afternoon where it's appointment television, right?
Yes.
You got to find God wherever he is and interrupt whatever he's doing and get his attention. That's the conversation I had with God. And I was like, God, please help me get this next breath. Don't take me away now. And I knew I was going to die at that moment.
That's wild, man, because you know something is that I actually I could definitely relate to that because I had met my
absolutely.
I thought I met my maker while I was going through it, and I actually called my parents. I called them up and told them, I said, look, and this was me through a very raspy voice, me dangling like I was going through it. My wife, we both had it at the same time. I was at the high end of the spectrum. She was at the lower end of the spectrum. I used to run 5 miles. I'm back up to it now each morning. But prior to that, I was running. I was taking care of myself. I was swimming. I was really at the top of my game. And then I was just knocked down those pegs. We had taken a flight up to New York to get Boogie, and prior to that, we had gotten tested the week before for our trip, so we can make sure we have it clear, ready to go. And the day before we left, we got our results, and everything came back, negative. So we felt good about it. Got on board the plane, not yet, but we were getting ready to. And I spoke to my wife before we got the Uber to go to the airport, and I said, hey, I'm not feeling that great. But, she said, what's wrong? I said, well, got a little headache, and that day I got, still cleared with the temperature gauge when I went to work.
Really?
Yeah. And everything I thought that was all clear. Got on the plane. I felt horrible. Started getting the chills, started going through everything. It was like all at once, just, and it's almost psychosomatic. Once you start thinking you're going through it, it was like, everything just came on. It was like your body was like, yeah, this is it, and watch what happens. And everything just when I coughed, it felt like everything was just shaking in me. Everything was just like it was just like you said. I can't explain it any better than you did, man. I mean, it felt like I was thrown out of a penthouse window. All that stuff. My last two guests, and it gets me because sometimes when I have conversation with people, I say, boy, it was rough. Some people are like, yeah, I had it. It wasn't, any that big of a deal. I got rid of it. And I'm like, the nerve, you know what I mean? Almost like, I hate
them all.
Yeah. I'm like, I want to talk to people who can kind of like through it, like really say, it's been bad. But then, you don't wish any harm on anybody. But,
right.
People are out there that could really relate. Then now they have long haulers out there, and the long haulers now they set a budget up so that they can do research for people who are long haulers. So those people who are still exhibiting symptoms of the COVID, they now have monies earmarked for research for them to try to get those people back on track and whatever's going to happen with them. But it's just nice that they're not going to be lost and forgotten, because as we move through this, lots of people are going to just be falling by the wayside. Think about all the homeless people.
There's still people out here that don't believe it's real.
Yeah,
that they don't get it. Now, so you caught it in October. So by the time you caught it, they knew more about it in October than they knew about it last year, March, right?
That's right. Yeah, yes.
When I got it, they were still calling it respiratory. And I'm listening to the news and I'm saying, this is not respiratory. This is something else. This is a monster, but it's not just respiratory. I tell you what, though, if you let that mucus get you, that mucus will take you, right?
Yeah.
My daughter had sent me a video of the steam pot You familiar with the steam pot?
With the
Like,
onions and stuff.
yeah, you put the onions and the Himalayan sea salt and
Yeah.
all the stuff in a pot, and you stand over the pot with a towel over your head. So my daughter has sent me that video, and I didn't believe in that stuff. I'm a straight city boy, right? I'm city boy. I don't believe in that island voodoo. Let me tell you, man, that voodoo is the answer, yo. Yeah. Anybody that calls me and says they feel or they tested positive or they feel something, I say, yo, go stand over the stove immediately. Do it for 20 minutes, 15 to 20 minutes. That steam pot. Don't let the mucus catch hold. Once the mucus catches hold, you're done.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, man. It was no joke, but that steam pot, man, I found myself doing it but I did it too late. I was still trying to recover. Because I remember I woke up on March 23rd. I remember these dates like they were yesterday. Mm-hmm. March 23rd, I called my doctor and I said, hey, doctor, I have a cough. Mm-hmm. And then her first response was, okay, you're quarantined. And I said, how are you going to quarantine me? You didn't even ask me who this was. She just said you're quarantined, right? Mm-hmm. So she said, oh, okay, well, who is this? And I said, it's Kevin Brown. She went, oh, it's Brown Kevin. How are you, Brown Kevin? Because, on your insurance card, your last name comes before your first. Yeah. So all the Indian ladies call me Brown Kevin over at the doctor's office.
Right.
So she said, so what's the problem, Brown Kevin? I said, I woke up with a cough. She said, oh, yes, I just quarantined you. So I had heard about that $2 trillion, right? And I wanted to make sure I got my piece. So I said, okay. So now I was still fine. All I had was a cough and a little mucus. So I said, okay, fine. Can you put that in writing? Give me a letter or something saying that, I got the coronavirus. She said, oh, no. I cannot put that in writing. I said, why not? She said, because I don't know if you have the coronavirus. I said, but you just quarantined me. If you don't know if I have it, how you going to quarantine me, right? So we were at a little impasse because she didn't want to put it in writing, but I needed her to put this in writing, right? Mm-hmm. So then she said, what is your temperature, right? This is March. That was her indicator. I didn't have nothing to take my temperature. So she said, well, okay, so because of your age, we're going to have to check your school. Now she lost me. I didn't know what she was trying to tell me then. I said, so I'm rationalizing, I'm translating in my brain. I said, she either told me she's gonna have to test my stool or I have to take a test in school. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure which one she was trying to tell me, right? So I'm rationalizing in my brain. I'm like, so what? School don't have nothing to do with this. So why would she say I have to take a test in school? But doctors don't test your stool. I'm 50 years old. Nobody ever tested my stool before. So I didn't know what she was saying. But I'm getting ready to start my second semester in college. And I'm a very happy camper. But yeah, it was scary. It was scary times, man. Very scary times.
I bet, man. Well, listen, with all this humor, man, it definitely leads into what in the world do you do, man? Like, what do you do for a living, man? Just want to introduce everybody to what you do.
Well, let me tell you, I'm an actor. I'm a stand-up comic. I've been a stand-up comic for 25 years or so. I actually used to have this comedy club in New York called the Uptown Comedy Club. I'm the founder.
Wow,
yeah, and the owner of the Uptown Comedy Club, and that's where hip hop comedy was formed, right? Was started, right? We were the first Black-owned comedy club in New York.
Yes,
right on 125th Street in Harlem.
Yep.
Everybody used to come to all of us were New Jacks at the time. I was a young promoter. I wasn't a comic at the time, but all the guys, Mike Epps used to come to my workshops. Tracy Morgan used to come to my New Jack workshops. JB Smooth. When Dave Chappelle came to New York, he would come to my club. Young Chris Rock, he had maybe done one movie or something, and he was the biggest star out of everybody.
Yeah.
And but somewhere along the line, I had to learn to transition and become a stand-up comic. Because if you're in the comedy game, you soon realize that the difference between a good comic and a great comic is a great comic has a car, right? A great comic shows up on time. A great comic is professional.
Okay.
A good comic can kill it. A good comic will be hilarious on stage, but they're always late. If they're always late and always irresponsible, they'll leave you hanging, right? Mm-hmm. So you'll have a crowd full of people. Comic don't show up. Now you got to start your show. So you have to, as a promoter, you have to learn how to start a show. You have to learn how to entertain the people. Okay. So somewhere along the line, I started getting on the stage because the comics would call me a half hour before the show and tell me they stuck on the turnpike or something. So I had to start shows. But I turned it into a pretty good career. I was on a Emmy award-winning TV show called 30 Rock. I worked with Tina Fey and Alec Baldwin and Tracy Morgan on NBC.
I was really amazed.
Yeah. And I was on the very first episode and the very last episode. So we did about 130, 140 episodes. So I did the whole run, right? And I'm a dude from the projects in the Bronx. I'm a regular dude, but we went to the tip tops of Hollywood. We went to, we were nominated for 22 Emmy Awards one season, which is the most Emmys of any comedy series in television history, So Emmy winner, Golden Globe, Screen Actors Guild, the whole 9 yards. And I tell you, when you go, you've probably been to some of these types of events, but when you go to these types of events, you and your crew are like the only black people in the room.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yep. You go in there and you might see Omar Epps, right? I think he was on ER or something like that. You might see the biggest black stars in the room but it's a whole white convention. It really looks like the Republican National Convention when you go to these award shows, right? But yeah, so my base is in the comedy game, but being able to tell this story, being able to testify about this story, man, this thing ain't no joke.
Yeah.
This thing ain't no joke, and I hate when I see people with their mask, halfway on their face.
Yeah, nose sticking out
at all.
Yeah.
One of my buddies, a stand-up comic, we both were headliners at this club in Times Square. So we must have done about literally 900 shows together. Okay. His name is Kenny Ortega. Good friend of mine, but we were interchangeable headliners, right?
Yes.
He's hilarious. I'm hilarious. He could close the show. I could close the show. And in Times Square, we would do 8 shows a night on a Monday, right? Times Square is real tourist attraction. So we did 40, 50 shows in a week, which is unheard of around the country.
Yes.
So I caught the coronavirus in March, and I came through on the other side. He caught the coronavirus in November, and he is no longer with us, right? Yeah. And when I saw the picture of him on Facebook on the ventilator with the breathing tube, and then 7 days later, he was gone. And all I thought was how random it was, because just as easily as we were interchangeable in the comedy clubs, we could have been interchangeable in life. Just as easily as I'm on this show now talking to you and he's gone, he could be on this show and I could be gone. It's just that random, right?
That's right. Yes.
So it really took its toll on me, brother. I'm like, I just hope people just be really careful out here. Mm-hmm. That's so important. Yeah. This is
the real blessing, man. As I listen to you and we transfer this conversation back and forth, I say that we're both, really blessed. You give a good reflection, because I look how we still have the humor and we still can laugh at certain things, but there's a very, very big, there's seriousness in the backdrop, and there's very, I like the way. I really do appreciate your coming on, because you're coming with a level of sincerity and forthrightness, in that this isn't a game, and you realize the blessing that you have. Yeah. And so do I, because at the end of the day, brother, we if we're not here, life goes on. Yeah. And it's a cold world. Yeah. And and I look forward to having guests on that can relate and say, I didn't have it, but I lost members, or I know people, or whatever have you. My last 2 guests, they were awesome. one thing that we didn't have, and this was thankful. I was thankful for him naturally, is we didn't have the connection on people lost during this whole pandemic. You know, he said, people, they knew a couple of people that got sick, but I didn't really know anybody who was, who had fatalities or anybody who really was sick.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. But it's important for those people to still watch the show, still stay connected, still look out, because danger is just right around the corner. It's right around.
Yeah. It's one of those things where, like, my sister, when I was sick, I was literally quarantined. Like, I'm nobody in my family came around me. I literally went through my journey. You're isolated, right? I haven't been around people since that day, right? Since a year ago, right?
Yes.
So I'll leave my house to go check the mail, go to the supermarket, go do my laundry. But I haven't had a hug from another human being in a year, right? No physical contact in over a year. But I remember my sister telling me the story, because my brother and sister would bring me supplies. But it was funny because I introduced my family to the coronavirus, right? It wasn't for them. It wasn't just something you see on the news, because their brother, I'm the middle child. The brother that they love so much, I got it. And after I got better, my sister tells me the story, my baby sister, she tells me the story about how when they would come by to bring the food, now they was terrified, because they would drop off the food and slide it through. It was like they would slide it through the door, like in the prison cell, right? They slide the food through the door and they out. Pew, they gone, right? But they're dropping off thermometers and cases of water and Tylenol and soup and just supplies, all the supplies, so I could get through it. So my sister told me the story when I got better. She said they saw me struggling to open the window so I could drop the key out the window so they could come in the front door. And she said they had parked the car across the street, and they were coming across the street, and they looked up at me struggling to open the window.
Jeez.
And she said she had tears running down her face, because I'm her big brother, right? I'm a big dude. I'm over 300 pounds. I'm 6'5". I'm not a little man, but I was so weak and so skinny and so beaten by this thing, I couldn't even open the window. But while I was going through it, I was just thinking about surviving. I didn't think about the pain they were going through watching me, right? I'm type 2 diabetic. So I also had the pre-existing condition. And I'm not where you're at yet, running that 5 miles yet, right? At that time, 2 months before I got it, I had joined Planet Fitness. So I was going to the gym 3 times a week, and I go to a 24-hour gym. So I go at 2, 3 in the morning, so nobody's there. Gym is empty. So that's how I like to work out. So I had just lost 25 pounds, and I was doing about 2-3 miles 3 times a week. So I was feeling okay as a big man. I'm still over 300 pounds. I'm feeling good, right? So when it beat me up that way, I swear the biggest thing that's in my mind is, if I didn't lose that 25 pounds, if I was not doing the exercises that I was doing, I really don't think I would be here right now.
There you go.
I really don't think I would be here.
Yeah. So it caught you in a good space.
Yeah.
Good thing, man.
I'm
telling you, because if it doesn't catch you while you're at your highest, with or at least at a level of height with physical and mental. Imagine if you were going through some stuff and you were already, your mind was already weighing on you. Then you were hit with this, man. You'd have no kind of, steam to try to, or desire to try to get through it. You just, woe is me. And that's all. This stuff preys on the weak.
Yeah. And let me tell you, I told Renita this. I lost my memory for about 10 days, right?
Oh, man.
So now, mind you, I called the doctor on March 23rd. Tell her I have a cough. That's it. It was just a cough and a little phlegm came up. But it was no big deal to me.
Yes.
My birthday was April 4th. Okay. March 23rd, I had a cough. My birthday's April 4th. I didn't realize my birthday was April 4th until April 9th. I looked at my phone and I saw I had like 50 unread texts. But it's April 9th. So
Where did time go?
So I'm looking at my phone like, how did I get who texted me this much? Why are they texting me? On April 9th, I look and I see I had a birthday. Let me tell you, bruh, I got no memory of my birthday. I have no memory of the 4 days leading to it. I took that test on April 1st. I remember taking the test on April 1st.
Yes.
I don't remember my birthday April 4th. I don't remember April 5th. I don't remember April 6th, 7th, or 8th. I got no, if you gave me a bag of money right now and asked me what happened in my life in those days, I could not tell you. I got, it's gone. And I hallucinated. Oh, I hallucinated, bro. I felt like I had an extra face, right? An extra face. And it was so real to me. Like this is my normal face, and next to my normal face was another head of mine, and it was filled with mucus, right? That's what the mucus was, and this extra head. But it was so real to me, and I'm calling people because I'm still answering the phone. I'm talking to people. They giving me pep talks and checking on me and whatever. So I remember the moments of talking to people, and I'm like, yeah, I got this other face, and I don't know what do I feed the other face? And so they're telling me what I said to them after the fact, right? They tell them after I'm out of the woods. People are reminding me of the nutty stuff I said. I lost my mind went somewhere else. And I'm not making a word of this up.
Hey, I believe it, man, because there's a whole lot that goes on in your mind when you're going through this here. I'll tell you. It really is. And did you get much sleep? Did you sleep a lot?
I slept all the time. Like I couldn't get out of bed. I slept.
That was me all the time. Yeah. I
would wake up for spurts and then I'd sleep, but I was fatigued. I was fatigued for the whole time. And I literally I think I did 65 days of bed rest. Right. And when I got better, like, let's put it this way, I have a lot of material now. I have a lot of things. I have a different insight on the world. The jokes I used to tell as a stand-up comic, the old jokes are irrelevant to me, right? They have no meaning. They're just jokey jokes that I did. Because in the black comedy clubs, black comics, we do survival comedy for the most part, right? We just getting on stage and trying to get on stage and get some laughs without getting a drink thrown on us, without getting booed, without bombing, right? The average black comic in these clubs we go to, we just trying to survive. But now I feel like I have something I want to say. I found my message in this journey.
Oh man, sure.
Right? So I'm desperate for a stage. And I wrote a book. I wrote a book.
Oh, wow. Shucks, look at you.
Look at this.
All right.
331 pages. And it's called Po Dad, No Dad. The making of an entrepreneur. Okay. And that's a picture of me holding two of my Screen Actors Guild awards right here. And I actually started the book or published a thinner version. It was much thinner back in 2017. Okay. And then I went back and hit it again on Amazon, and I must have added 200 pages to it, right? Since the coronavirus. Because my whole industry, our industries were shut down. A lot of people, were still able to work, but there's a lot of us, there's no work out here, right? The clubs were closed. So you got to find a way to channel that energy in a positive way. So I wrote this book, Po Dad, No Dad. It's a spin-off Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Remember that book, Robert Kiyosaki?
Yep.
So when I first read that book 20 years ago, the book changed my life. It's a life-changing book. But 20 years later, I ran into this young man, and he said, yeah, I just read this book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it changed my life. But when I heard this young black man say it struck me differently. So I said, is your father still in your life? And he said, no, I'm be honest with you. I was raised by my mother. And I said, you know what? I was pretty much raised by my mother. My father was in the military, right? But my mother was on the ground raising this black man. So that inspired me to retitle my book, because if you're lucky enough to have a father in your life, God bless you. But from where I come from, fathers were MIA. Fathers were missing, right?
Yeah.
And you having a rich dad and a poor dad was unheard of. So we didn't have no rich dad and a poor dad. We had a po dad or a no dad, right? So that was the inspiration behind the title of my book. But it's about the making of an entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is it's a spinoff on being an entrepreneur, right?
Yes.
When they tell you, you start your own business, you're an entrepreneur, you're the boss. But after being an entrepreneur for decades, you learn that you're never really your own boss, not in America, right? I remember owning the comedy club, owning the Uptown Comedy Club, thinking I'm a club owner, I'm the boss. Come to find out, who's really my boss? The building department, the fire department, the health department, the liquor authority.
Man, jump through all those hoops.
It's the American illusion, right? It's the illusion. And what you have to do as a black person, black and brown, male or female in this country, you have to realize that the game is stacked against you, right? They used to say playing the race card. Oh, there goes another black person playing the race card. It's not a race card. It's a whole deck, right? And it shows itself when all those entitled white people think they can go raid the Capitol building. Black Lives Matter would have never raided no Capitol building. We'll raid the Nike store to get some sneakers. We'll go to the bike shop to get some mopeds or something. But as soon as you try to go on federal ground, no Black Lives Matter people are gonna go breaking no windows at the Capitol. Because that's a coup. If you hear that they raided the Capitol in Haiti or El Salvador, that's a coup attempt. You're attempting to overthrow the government.
Yes.
Those white people are so entitled in America because they know they can get away with it, right? There's things entrepreneurs can't get away with in America. And that's the making of an entrepreneur. That's what the book is about. The making of an entrepreneur. And it's available on Amazon.
All right, okay.
Available on Amazon. You can find it under Kevin Brown, type in entrepreneur. But it's a funny book. It's the funniest book about business you're ever going to read.
Fantastic. Well, we have a book club within our channel as well, man, within the super chat. So we're going to make sure we stand behind you on that one, man.
Hey, listen, when you ever start talking to your authors, I'll come right on and I'll tell my stories, because there's a story about hip hop comedy, how hip hop comedy was created, right? Okay. There's a real story, right? Okay. Like, I don't know if you know this or people know this, but there's a comedy show called Def Comedy Jam, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Biggest comedy show ever made.
Yes.
I created that show.
What?
I created that show. And Russell Simmons was brought to my club by a guy named Bob Sumner. I don't know if you know Bob.
Hey, I know Bob. Yeah. My wife is actually, we're trying to loop him up in the stronghold too.
Bob Sumner was a DJ. He was a DJ back in the days. I'm talking about 35, back in 1988, 87. He was a DJ at this little strip club in Newark called Terminal D. Terminal D on by the airport.
By the airport, Terminal D. Yep. I know. Yeah, we had
So you know what I'm talking about.
Right on Route 9.
Yes. So I got a call from the owners, the Felton family. I got a call. The Uptown Comedy Club. We were only 6 months old.
Yes.
And I got a call from the owners asking me to supply them with comedians. Mm-hmm. So now this is our first clients. We had the Uptown Comedy Club in Harlem, and now we have a client in New Jersey, and we're supplying them with comics on a Tuesday night. Terry Hodges was the host. I don't know if you know Terry Hodges.
Yep.
So Bob was a DJ over there. So that's how I met him. And this is, like I said, this is like 1987, 88.
Yeah, sure.
Right? So ultimately, Bob went and got a job.
Zanzibar is rocking.
Yes. Zanzibar across from the abandoned projects.
Yeah, yeah, right under the bridge.
I grew up in the projects. I grew up and born and raised in the projects, but I never saw abandoned projects in my life. I was like, Jersey? I thought the Bronx was broke. Y'all got abandoned projects? And people were still living there. You would still see lights on. The projects is abandoned and shut down, but you would see lights in the window at night. I'm like, I've never seen abandoned projects. This is Newark? Oh my God. So I met Bob Sumner there, and he got a job at Def Jam, and he brought Russell Simmons to my club to see what was going on. Me and Russell Simmons shook hands. He shook my hand and said, we're going to partner up and do a TV show called Def Comedy. No, it was a New York comedy show or something, New York Comedy Jam. He shook my hand. I was supposed to be a producer on that show. By the time it was done, you never heard my name again.
Oh, man.
So I got real life stories like that. I got a story about when Chris Rock threatened to have me shot. Me and Chris Rock, young Chris Rock.
What?
Me and Chris Rock got into an argument. So I'm cursing him out. So I walk away. And when I walked away, he said, I'm going to have that nigga shot. But he was standing next to my brother, who was a 5th degree black belt at the time. So I hear chairs scuffling around. I hear chairs scuffling. Sorry about that. I hear chairs scuffling around. I turn around. My brother got Chris Rock by the throat.
Oh, no.
Pinned up against the wall. His feet are kicking. They're not even touching the floor. But this is how hip hop comedy was born, right?
Sure. Yeah.
I got those stories in my book.
Yeah, Bill Bellamy back in the day, huh?
Oh, Bill Bellamy was always the sexiest, sexiest young, he's trying to hold on to his
Peppermint and all those places. The Peppermint,
yes.
They had that whole little circuit.
Bill is my man. Terry Hodges. There was a whole thing out in Jersey.
Yeah.
Jerry, Alonzo Hamburger.
Yeah.
All these guys.
Jones.
Alonzo Jones. All these guys used to come to my club. Everybody was starting out at the same time.
Wow.
But they were comics, and I was the club owner. So we go way back. So I'm telling these stories in my book because when we first started hip hop comedy, we didn't know you could become a millionaire. That was out of the question, right? Mm-hmm. You knew you wanted to make people laugh, and that's it. Mm-hmm. But you didn't know that you could build a career and make a lot of money and get on TV and do movies and stuff like that. So just watching that journey, and then the way it was attached to hip hop, because back then, as a matter of fact, Wendy was on an episode of the Uptown Comedy Club TV show, right? I'm talking about back in '92. But this is Mary J. Blige used to hang out at the club. She was coming up. She wasn't a star yet. Tupac used to come hang out. Biggie used to come hang out. Tony. Young Malcolm Jamal Warner. The Cosby Show had just started. But everybody, we were all babies at the time.
Yeah.
And you have no idea what life's going to be like 30 years from now. So I'm telling these stories in the book. But it's my funny anecdotes behind it. So when you're ready, when you do your book club and you're ready to interview the authors, I got some even funnier stories out of that. Absolutely,
man, incredible, and definitely signs of a better time. All those great stories and things. It seems like life is so far away from the innocence and the rawness of where we once were. Comics and things. What about getting on stage? Is getting on stage the same? Are you doing anything over the internet?
I do shows. I've done about 9 Zoom comedy shows, right? So I remember my first comedy show. I didn't understand Zoom, and I got introduced to Zoom last year, April. I remember doing the first time I got on a Zoom call was like April 26th of last year. So Zoom is new to me. It's been around for maybe a year before that, but it was brand new to me. I'm still figuring out. But since then, I've done about 8 or 9 comedy shows. There's a technique you have to use to do comedy on the internet, because typically a comic wants laughs. But when you're on these Zoom calls, you typically want to mute a person's mic if they're not supposed to speak. But if you mute their mic, you can't hear their laughter, right? So, and the comic needs laughter, right? A comic, it's an interchange of emotion, right?
Sure.
We tell the jokes. I want to hear you chuckle. I want to hear you gasp. I want to hear you, cough or spit or whatever.
Yes.
So I remember not knowing to tell people to loosen up while they're in their houses and open up their mic, right? So now I get it. Now that I've done about 9 or 10, but I missed the stage, man. I know comics across the country are losing their minds because we missed the stage. We missed that direct, relationship with an audience. There's so many comics doing podcasts right now. I've jumped into it in a little bit. Like I do a podcast with Jim Brewer from the movie Half Baked. He was on Saturday Night Live. He actually started on our TV show, the Uptown Comedy Club. So we've been recording content for about the last 3 months, but we still don't have a name. We haven't promoted it. We haven't put it out. We just putting the content in the can.
Yeah, and you're going in that's the right direction right now, because I think that, especially, and well, sadly, but then unfortunately, with you having been through COVID, a lot of your content, just listening to you right now on here, it's, so many people can identify, like right now, your content is hot. This COVID, and you're having gone through it, and your real life, situations and how you related through it and things. That's what people. Those are the connections. Those are going to make direct connections with your audience, and it's never gonna die out. No time soon. And then even through the ages, this is stuff that that you could patent. This will be your content, and I keep on writing.
Right.
And, especially, what's also odd is to find somebody who's, a comedian who's both intellectual and comedic, and watching you on 30 Rock, 30 Rock. I was listening to your diction and everything, and, you definitely, you're savvy with you can handle yourself in a conversation as well. And then acting wise, you were real. It was great. It was a pleasure to watch you, man. And not have, somebody of our culture, just, mumble through some things and whatever have you. You could tell that, you have some intelligence to you, and it's very, very pleasing to be able to watch somebody in that character.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. My acting career is I use my entrepreneurship skills in my acting career, because I tell everybody, and I say it proudly.
Sure.
I'm not the best actor, and I'm not the best comedian, but in this world, you don't have to be number one, right?
That's right.
If you check the history of Star Search, if you check the history of American Idol, the biggest stars came in 4th place, right? The biggest stars came in 3rd place or 2nd place. The person that came in 1st place may not even still be around, right? So for me, I understand the game. Like, here's something that happens. Like, every time a big bald-headed black dude dies, I get a bunch of calls, right? I get a bunch of sympathy calls. Debo died late last year from Fridays.
Yes.
People, my phone start ringing. Oh, Kev, Debo just died, man. I thought about you. How you doing, man? You taking care of yourself? Yeah. You calling me more when he died than you called me when I was sick. Nobody thought about calling me when I'm sick. Another dude died. When the dude from the Green Mile died. And these are, and none of them were my friends, but we ran into each other at auditions, right? Because you go to the auditions, and it's 200 people that look just like you, all trying to get the same part.
Yes.
And what actors don't understand is you have to identify that thing that's going to make them pick you over everybody else, right? What are you going to do to make them pick you over Debo? What are you over Terry Crews, right? And so I just go to the auditions, and I put my best work out. And there's this old joke about if me and you are getting chased by a bear, right? If me and you are getting chased by a bear, can we outrun a bear? Bears are fast. But the punchline is, I don't have to outrun the bear. I just got to outrun you.
That's right. That's right.
I ain't outrunning the bear, but if I outrun you, I'm sorry, Tommy. I'll do the next episode of your show. Right?
That's right.
that's my strategy for survival. But since we're on that topic, I want to give a shout out to all the directors. I get a lot of work in independent films. I've done a lot of films that haven't even come out yet. I've been in over 100 episodes of television. I've been in about 65 to 70 films. Wow. And people bug out because they've seen me. Like, they'll see me and say, "You look familiar," right? But they don't know whether they saw me on a movie or if I look like that corrections officer. They don't know. But I want to give a shout out because I love working with independent artists before their hopes and dreams have been dashed. Mm-hmm. But I want to say one no to all those directors, young directors. Don't ever call a professional actor and tell us we did not get the part. Okay? That call is the worst mistake you can make. "Oh, hello, Kevin. I was just calling to tell you that we love you so much, but we gave the part to another guy, but we really felt bad." You don't have to make that call, okay? Right. We will figure out we didn't get the part in the movie when we go see the movie and we're not in it, okay? We'll figure it out. We don't need you calling us and apologizing. But yeah, so the game has been very good to me. Yes. But you also have to. Now, you heard I told my story, and I told you about my sister and my brother. Mm-hmm. And the way like you said at the beginning, Wendy Williams' brother. Yes, you must keep your family first. Yes. You must keep a relationship. Well, your family second. You must keep your God first. Whoever your God is, keep your God first. Okay. When you get in this industry, you gotta have a relationship with your family, man. Okay. Because there's some demons in this game that you can't, and the demons look so, the glitter and the glamour of the industry is so enticing. You don't know what demonic forces are behind them. So you gotta keep a relationship with your family, and because that's where, those are people that keep you grounded and they'll catch your back. So that's real important.
Yes. Fantastic, man. Well, it certainly is a pleasure to meet you, man. I'm definitely going to stay in touch. That was that punctuating advice. I think that spoke volumes to me. You had certain permeations throughout this conversation that really hit home for me, and that you just said definitely is a takeaway for me. And I'm definitely going to stay in touch. Like I said, you definitely come with a wealth of knowledge, and you have plenty of years under your belt in this industry. And I'm just, I don't know where I'm heading with this. I just know that, within this channel here, it's all about positive vibes. You definitely foot the bill for that, man. You came in here and made us laugh, and you shared some important information. We love that. And,
I get my second shot. I get my second vaccine on April 1st.
Oh, wow. Fantastic. So you beat me to it.
I'm excited about that.
April 1st. I go April 2nd.
Oh, okay. Oh, your first?
Yeah.
Your first
the second one.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so we're home. We're home free. Just about.
Listen,
yep. Still wear a mask though.
Listen, so after we get the shot, they say it takes 14 days for us to be fully inoculated. Let me just put this out here right now. I'm single black man. I'm healthy. I haven't been touched by a woman since 2019, ladies. Since 2019. I'm kind of desperate. I'm kind of horny. And I know that I want to hear from all the other desperate, horny women, and just come see me. Let's see what we can work out. All right.
I'm gonna tell you something, man. It's funny that you say that, because I know Nita's gonna have a fit, but we're gonna be doing a dating thing here. With this platform here, the way you could bring down and pull up people and block them out and just have the words, so you never know. This brother could be with the face blacked out, and you just hear the voice, and you could be asking him all kinds of questions. We have some super dynamite ladies and gentlemen in our chat, and that's where it's at, man. So I think good things are ahead. You definitely, the world is yours, man.
Tommy, I just watched 48 Hours, right? I didn't watch a lot of TV. I watched 48 Hours. So Eddie Murphy now, this movie's 30 years old now. Eddie Murphy came out of prison. He's like, man, I've been locked up for 3 years. I'm looking for a woman, right? That's how I feel. So I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not looking to date, okay? I'm not interested that much in dating right now. There's one thing I'm interested in, and we got to get to the point. After we knock that out, then maybe you could tell me your name and I might care. But right now, I am so desperate, so horny, so lonely. I haven't been hugged in over a year.
Yeah, man.
Think about that. And I'm not, and I still have my freedom. I'm not incarcerated. Right? This is its own level of incarceration. So if a lady wants to date, you should probably go holler at somebody else right now. I want to get down to business. I want to put the business on you. Nah, but we can date you. I'll buy you a drink. I'll buy you a drink. No, I'm just playing. I'm just talking. This is the ramblings of the ramblings of a horny black man. That's the title of my next book.
Super, man. We like that authenticity though, all the time.
Hey, good to see you, man. Thanks for having me on, bro.
Hey, man, it's nice seeing you as well, man. Thanks for the moment, and we'll definitely stay in touch, okay?
Absolutely.
There's some things I want to work on. I'll definitely be in touch with you real soon, man. You take care. God bless you, man.
Thank you. You too.
All right, man. Take care, Kev. All right. How about that? Huh? Funny guy. Great time. Can't believe we had a long conversation, and that was very, very, my cheeks hurt actually just from smiling and laughing. Oh, I was looking forward to this interview all day, just to laugh and smile some more. You know, life can really beat you down, folks. It's definitely a non-emotional time when it comes down to, no one being hugged. He hit it right on the head. I mean, we're going through some things right now, and it's real. A hug, smiles, the mask being on right now. It's a rough time for everybody. It was just nice to have a comedian get on and be able to relate and talk to us about things that we all can say amen, give each other a positive vote and root toot for you, So as he moves along his journey, and now, looking over and you see him on TV, you'll be able to say, that guy was down for the struggle just like me, real people, real talk. That's what goes on right here. I don't want to get anybody who's too big to come on, who feels they're too big to get on the channel. Just talk about me, I, and this is what I'm all about. No, I need we and the planet and how we're moving. I've had numerous conversations with people who were willing to come on the show. But everybody doesn't make me say, oh, wow, this could be a good one. But you know what? Kevin Brown, he definitely got the 2 thumbs up. Good fellow. So he has a book out. Definitely want to put it in the chat. There's going to be some things that I do moving forward with regard to the Super Cats. I know, we have the book club up. I want to speak with my wife, who pretty much handles that platform. And she's going to go ahead and try to incorporate that into the reading as well. I think we can, do some laughing and do some, soul searching while we read through that. Definitely those single parent households are something that I feel very privileged to have had both parents. And I never looked away from, that true blessing. Most of my friends, both in college and, growing up, had single family households. I did a lot of boxing, a lot of sports, a lot of activities that had me gravitating towards the urban areas. And I definitely appreciated where I came from. And I also opened my heart and opened my home, my parents' home, to people from all walks. And that's truly how I always live my life. So again, love life, love each other, stay safe. God bless you all. Thank you so much for joining me on the show. And we'll see you again real soon. Hanging out with the Williams. You got Tommy Williams Show right here. And I'd like to just say, be on the lookout for some more. We tried to send a a flyer out, a digital flyer. Now, in the future, when we send these out in the different platforms, if you could pass them along, that'll be super. I know that people will be continuously watching this naturally, and it'll be continuously promoted in things, and there'll be many more shows coming up. So let's keep the buzz going. It's a nice, positive time. I hope you all enjoyed the show. Take care, and God bless. Good night. Bye, everybody.